Hello everyone, welcome to my channel today. If you're new, my name is Emily. I created Definite Hearing as a way to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. I'm hard of hearing myself. I wear 2 hearing aids and boy do I love them. I have a sensorineural hearing loss, which means that there is something wrong with my inner ear and the connection of the auditory neural pathway to my brain. So essentially, it's really hard for me to hear and understand sound due to this sensorineural hearing loss. For today's video, I am so excited to talk about this topic. If you have not heard of the FX-322 drug, today's a great day. So what is FX-322? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video. It is an experimental drug that supposedly can cure, like use that term loosely, sensorineural hearing loss, which is a big deal. I hope you stick around to the end of this video because if you do, I am going to share my opinions of this drug and would I take it or would I not? Stick around to the end of this video for my answer. All right, so FX322 was developed by Frequency Pharmaceuticals. They are a clinical state biotechnology company that focuses on the body's innate ability to repair itself. Does that sound interesting? That is interesting. So what exactly is this experimental drug FX322? Well, it is an injection into the middle ear. So that means through the ear canal, through the eardrum, and into your middle ear that activates the progenitor cells already present in the cochlea. Whoa. Okay, so first off, what are progenitor cells? Progenitor cells are not stem cells. They are cells a step above stem cells that have already been designated as specific cells. So just to clarify, a stem cell is a cell that could essentially become anything. It just is the body and the DNA's decision to let that cell know, okay, so you don't have an assignment yet, but here's your assignment, develop into this, and it does. With these progenitor cells, they have already been designated as inner ear cells. So essentially these cells are just sitting there dormant. So this FX322 injection supposedly activates those cells to revive the hair growth, the inner ear cell hair growth, and essentially help a person hear again. So my sensorineural hearing loss is due to the fact that I have damage in my inner ear cells or on the auditory nerve pathway. Now, if I have damage to the auditory nerve pathway, I don't know that FX322 would help me, but it is interesting to think of the possibilities. All right, so let's talk about where FX322 is now. It is still in clinical trials. They call it phase 2. There's phase 2A and phase 2B. Well, in October of 2019, they started the experiment with 95 participants, in which they did 4 different categories with a placebo effect and the actual drug. This was a double-blind study, and they were trying to see how many injections people need for FX322 for it to be most effective. 1 injection, 2, 3, 4, and what works. So they had to test it against a placebo to ensure that there is a difference and that it's not just, people somehow being able to subconsciously wake up those progenitor cells without the drug. So this test lasted a year. It ended on October 20th in 2020. Now, that said, that's according to Frequency Pharmaceuticals data. Due to COVID, I don't really know if that really happened, but they're scheduled to have all their data completed and finalized by May of 2021. So I'm super excited for that, super excited to hear how it's going. I've heard a lot of buzz in the hard of hearing world about FX322 and people really excited to see if this would truly work because sensorineural hearing loss is the most common form of hearing loss aside from noise and sound-induced hearing loss. And so this is a big deal. This is the equivalent of curing cancer for this population of hard of hearing people with sensorineural hearing losses that want that cure. And so I think that this is incredible. This is just absolutely incredible that science has got to the point that we can even comprehend this concept, let alone bring it to life. Scientists are using quantifiable data to see whether or not this drug works. They're using different hearing tests to gauge the before and after of each clinical study participant. As listed in their study outline, they said that they are going to do speech intelligibility in quiet and loud environments, standard pure tone audiometry, systemic safety, making sure that the ear system stays the same and is not harmed or damaged by FX322. Local safety, which means again more safety within the localized insertion of the drug, so in the middle ear. And again, local safety with regards to basic baseline tympanometry. So this means measuring the air pressure against the eardrum and within the ear and making sure that everything is balanced out. Because when you're injecting something into the middle ear, you have your eustachian tube, you have your ear canal, and you've got to make sure that the pressures are balanced. If not, that can lead to long-term balance issues and feeling dizzy, and it could be bad. So it's good they're paying attention to that. But all in all, I am really excited to see what the results are of this test. We will see. What do you think the results will be? They tested with 95 people, and even in May, if the results do come back as good, they will have to do another round of clinical studies before it can be reviewed by the FDA. So things move very, very slowly in the medical and clinical trial world. So I probably wouldn't expect this to get to the FDA for at least probably the next 3 to 5 years, and then FDA approval is a whole bear within itself. So we may not be seeing this for 10 years, but we'll have to see. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I want to share my thoughts on this drug. So fun fact, 32 is my lucky number. When I saw that the name of this drug was FX322, I was like, hey, that's my lucky number. This could be so lucky. This could be amazing. But I definitely do not want to be one of the first ones to try this. I love my hearing where it's at. I love who I am. I love the fact that my hearing loss is giving me so many cool connections. It's hard. It's almost like a moral question for myself. Would I take the chance to cure my sensorineural hearing loss if I could? Would I essentially want to repair that? Whoa, that's such a big question. I feel honestly, I am going to have to wait until that day comes. I don't want to think about it now because as of right now, it's not even something that I have access to. It's not something that I feel I want to worry about, think about, or even hope about. It is just something that if it really does work out in the long run, great, and maybe I'll consider it then. But there are still so many things we don't know, what could be the long-term side effects? What could be the expense of it? Because right now, insurance companies don't even cover hearing aids. Are they going to cover a sensorineural hearing loss drug? Well, I would like that, but we'll just have to see what happens. So I'm really excited about this. I would love to hear, what are your thoughts on the FX322 drug? I would love to hear in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And would you do it? Would you accept this drug if it was if money wasn't an issue? I'm super curious and would love to hear in the comments below. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more great content for you. And I am so excited to see what happens in these clinical trials for FX322. I hope you have a great day.